I'm here in Huxley's in Berlin, and I'm waiting for Liebe now. I'm going to have a chat with him. He's on tour with Dave Grusin, and he's going to be on stage in a few minutes, but I catch him before that and have a little chat with him, and let's see what he's have to say. Who was your biggest influence that you actually continue with music?
Well, I had incredible teachers, and I had one teacher in particular that was recommended to me by the great jazz guitarist Barney Kessel, and this teacher, his name was Duke Miller.
You actually played with quite a lot of also other famous musicians. Is there any moment that you say, well, that's something that I really love to remember, and it just made a huge change in your life or something?
You mean as far as inspiration from other musicians or just events in my life? Or?
Well, yes, but also with the ones that you actually performed together with.
Oh. Well, I started off my career first as a studio musician in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. So I played on thousands of records, and that was like being in school for me in a way. And, to get to work with Quincy Jones and Pink Floyd and Steely Dan and my buddy Dave Grusin, who was the top film scorer.
You won 2 Oscars in the following year for Crash and $1 Million Baby. I'm not quite sure if there's confusion because on Wikipedia that's what it says, right?
Yeah, no,
but I think it's not true, is it? Do you want to explain that?
I won 2 for Crash. I was nominated for $1 Million Baby. I didn't win.
I also heard that you really love working with actors. So tell me why.
No, actors have the hardest job in our business. I mean, everyone pretends that's not the case.
You also did something in Rome. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we did our master class in Rome. Was Hollywood in Rome is called, and Mark and Feta, the organizers here, did it there.
So why don't you introduce yourself and tell a little bit about you?
Well, hey, what's up, guys? I'm James Maslow, here in Berlin right now. Got a show tomorrow, and yeah, just excited. I just released my first solo album called How I Like It. So this is my first tour, kind of little promo run, and it's exciting getting to jump all around Germany and all around Europe and finally putting these songs on their feet and getting to play my own music.
You also have a few other productions coming up, and I think more in acting as well. So can you talk about anything or?
Yeah. I had a movie come out in theaters for the first time for me in the States called 48 Hours to Live.
Okay.
And I think that just came out here on video on demand. So
how did you guys get together?
So we met in a place called Nashville, Tennessee in the States. We saw each other across a crowded room at a church. And I was there because I was dating a girl that told me in order to continue dating, I had to go to church with her. So we're sitting in church, and the church service ends, and I see her stand up across the room. Mm-hmm. And I think to myself, that's the girl I'm going to marry. And I also said out loud, that's the girl I'm going to marry.
Is it easier to actually be a couple and writing
I
songs?
think so.
They're really emotional and very spiritual, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the biggest part of marriage that makes it fun and also makes it successful is communication and being able to express yourself and be vulnerable with one another, and that's really what we do in our songwriting. So I think the songwriting helps the marriage, and the marriage helps the songwriting.
Right. Excellent.